Hi, how you doing? It's Jeff Sinker from SkypeGuitarLessonsOnline.com. This lesson we are going to be looking at the CAGED system. Now this lesson is an introduction to the CAGED system. I'll be going through a series of lessons building up your knowledge so you will be able to use this system. Well, what is the CAGED system? Well, the CAGED system is a method that we can use to organize our playing on the fretboard. This really is aimed at more of the intermediate player, as you will have to be able to play bar chords. Now, if you've not played bar chords before or you're having trouble with the bar chords, you might find this a little bit difficult to play. So what I would do is suggest going back to one of my previous lessons where I look at the bar chords, and that will be able to help you. But let's just talk about the CAGED system. Now, we are looking at the chords that we played as a beginner, the beginner chords. We've got a C chord, we've got an A chord, got a G chord, got an E chord, and we've got a D chord. Now, whenever we talk about playing chords, and I say to anybody playing me a C, they will typically go to that chord and play a D, go to that chord. So you're playing the C, A, G, E, D. What we're going to be doing is taking these 5 chords and moving them around the fretboard so we can play different chords using these shapes, or we can play the same chord in a different position. So what we're doing is we're going to be looking at how we can move these chord shapes around the fretboard. Now let's look first of all at the C chord. Now the C chord played here has got a root note of C in this position, which is that 3rd fret on the A string. Now the guitar has different positions for the C. We've got that position there, which is on the 3rd fret on the A string. We've also got the same note, the C, which is on the 8th fret on the low E string. And we've also got another one that appears here on 10th fret of the D string. These are the C positions that we will be featuring. I know there is other ones, but we are looking at that C, and that C. And we are going to use the different shapes, the C, A, G, E, D shapes, utilizing these, or one of these 3 notes as the root tone. And the C, typical chord, playing the triad, we've got the C, we've got 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. Now, if I wanted to move this chord up, I could change the fingers, bring them up like that. So I could move this part of the chord forward, but I can't move the note because 2 of the notes when we play the open chord are using the open strings. So if I wanted to move this chord, I would actually have to bring the 1st finger in here to play the bar. So we've still got this formation of a C, but now we've got a root note, which is the C sharp. So we have now got a C sharp chord using that shape of the C. And we can continue moving that forward the fretboard. And this is what we are going to be doing with each of these chords. We're going to take, as we've done with the C, I can change the shape and I can play a C sharp. If I move it 1 more fret higher, this little finger here, which is now the root note of the chord, is on the D. So I have a D chord. Move it 2 frets higher, have an E chord. 1 fret higher, F, 2 frets, G, 2 more frets, A. And we've taken it up to the 12th fret. We can do the same thing with the A chord. I've got your standard A chord there. If I wanted to move it forward, what I've got to do, I've got to change the finger positions, and I've got to bring the bar here on the 1st fret, because previously your A the actual open strings on the nut. So I bring that fingers forward 1 fret, which means I've got to bring the first finger here, to advance these open strings forward by 1 fret. And this would now, because the first finger is on this first fret on the A, would give me a B flat. Move it 1 more fret higher, I've got a B, 1 more fret, C, C sharp, D, and just continue forward using the notes on the A string to give me the root note of the chord, using the A shape. Let's have a look at the G. G chord. The root note is here on the low E string. If I wanted to bring this forward, I would have to slide these fingers forward, but now I've got this big problem here because the root, or these open strings back here, quite a distance, so I've got to change the fingering completely. So I've got to put my little finger here, third finger and second finger comes into play, slide forward, and I've got to stretch down with my first finger. That is quite a stretch. And if you've never played any chord with that kind of a stretch before, you will agree. It's a really long stretch. Now you can get round that. Now, because you're looking to play the chord, you're just looking to play the triad, which is going to be the 1, 3, 5. You can actually just put your little finger on the root note, your third finger covering, and then your first finger takes up on that first fret. We just don't play the high E string. That has given us now a G sharp, A, B flat, B, and C. And of course we can move that forward. So we've got a way of playing the G as a bar chord now. Look at the E. Now this is one that if you've started playing your bar chords, you will be familiar with this one. Standard open E chord. Root note is on the open low E string here. If I move forward, I've got to rearrange my fingers and bring the first finger in to play that root note and also cover the bar at the bottom. So we get an F. And of course, say, doing this lesson you should be familiar with playing bar chords. This one is a traditional bar chord. It's a standard go-to bar chord. Root note being here, so we've got an F, F sharp, G, A flat, B, B flat, B, C. The final one is the D. Now this one does cause a little bit of confusion for people, so let's just break this down. We've got the standard beginner's D chord shape. The root note is back here. Then we've got the typical shape of the D. If I move that forward, I get a D sharp. But I've still got to move this note here forward to bring the D sharp in. So I've got to change the fingers. So I use third, little and second finger, and I've got to reach back here. And the root note is on the D string. Just move that forward. It's a bit of a tricky one to play through. A little bit of practice though, you get that. But just remembering that the root note is back here where the first finger is. But that does take a little bit of practice to get onto the D chord. If you've never done that before, just building that shape up. Just take your time, get used to bringing that in. Focusing on that first finger. So we now have 5 shapes. A C shape, an A shape, got a G, E and a D shape that we can see moves. Now let's go back to the C chord and let me show you how we can start to utilize these shapes. We had a C here, root note was back here on the A. And what I can do, I can play the A shape by putting the first finger on the C and play the A chord. That gives me a C. So I've got a C method there and a C there. So we've got that C there. The next time we see the C note is back here which is on the 8th fret or the low E string. But we can play the G shape, little finger on the C, playing the G shape. So the bar is on the 5th fret. Next one is the E shape. Now that's the easy one, so you put your first finger on the C and we get a C chord. The final one, we got to move up to this C, which is on 10th fret of the D string, and we play the D shape chord. So we got C, 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 and finally C. And of course then it goes forward again because it goes back to playing, gets a bit cramped, right high on the fretboard, but we do have that C using the bar instead of what we had on the nut. Oh, we can do this in all the different positions, and I would strongly advise you to practice this, because we started off with the C, playing across the C positions. Let's have a look at the A. Well, the A is an A open string, A there, and A there, and of course it goes back to the A open string there. So we've got the A open string, that will give us the standard A chord. Now the pattern always continues the same, the shapes are always the same, so the sequence is always going to be C, A, G, E, D. So if you start on the A, it's going to go to the G next. So we know that the A is here on 5th fret, so we play the G shape with the little finger on the A note. Then we go to the E shape, 5th fret, with the root note A. Then we move 2 frets higher, 2 strings down to the D, and we play the D shape. And then the final one is the C shape in the sequence, so we bring our little finger up to the A, which is on 12th fret of course, and we play the C shape. So we've done the A, G version, E version, D version, and the C, all across the A's. G, we can play the full version there because they've got the use of the open strings. We then would go to the E shape, from there we go to the D, and from that there we are going to go across to the C. So we've gone from there, so we know we've got to go up to 10th fret so we can pick up the G. And then we've got the G there. And if we wanted to continue from that, we go back into it again where we're up here on the 15th fret. What we can just quickly look at now is because we've got these different shapes, we can move more efficiently when we play songs. Now, if you've been playing songs before and you've been using bar chords, you've probably, if somebody said to you, let's play a sequence that went from a C chord to an F chord to a G chord, you would probably have gone C, F, G. It's one method, and you'd still be right. You're not incorrect, but could you be more efficient? Could there be an easier way of playing them 3 chords? And this is where the CAGED sequence comes in, the CAGED system comes in. Because if I was playing my C here, and I had to go to an F chord, I could move down here, because there's your F. Because I've got that string there, and then up to the G. Not a big jump. I could start the C in a different position. I could start the C here. And then we can look for different ways I can play the F. Well, because I've got an F note here on 3rd fret on the D, I could go across to here. So I get the C, F, and then to the G shape here. So I've not even moved the bar. I've taken that C, D shape, E shape. So I've got more effective how I'm playing the guitar, and really this is the basis of playing the CAGED system, is being able to move around the fretboard a lot more efficiently and a lot more practically instead of flying up and down the fretboard. Now, as I said, you are not wrong if you play these chords in these, sticking to the A chord or even just between the E and the A shape chord. You're not wrong, but there could be a more efficient way to play these. And as you get into more and more developed chord sequences, as you start to advance forward as a intermediate going to advanced player, you will see the need to be able to move around the fretboard a lot more efficiently. And this lesson here hopefully has given you your introduction into what the CAGED system is and how you can start to move around the fretboard. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed this lesson. But until the next time, this is Jeff Sinker from SkypeGuitarLessonsOnline.com, wishing you well, appreciate your company. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, goodbye.